That's not the right device. Okay, there we go. All right. Yes, that looks better. I see the little green line jumping back and forth, so somebody can hear me somewhere. And I'm gonna flip open some other my laptop so I can see what's going on. And give me just 1 second. Dun 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 dun. Cool. There we go. So, like I was saying, I almost successfully started a stream and a Zoom meet where our design team is here with me. Just the audio issue there. Hopefully, it doesn't distract too many people. And I've been at the VA all day. That was what I started with. So I'm gonna mention this on behalf of other veterans who may or may not be aware. But the PACT Act was signed yesterday. Wow, it was just yesterday. So the PACT Act is well, that's not like the real name. There's a longer name of it. It was written in honor of Sergeant First Class, I think, an Army Sergeant First Class, Robert somebody. I'm bad with names sometimes, but he died of cancer, and one of his works while he was struggling through with that cancer diagnosis was getting us the recognition as veterans that we had issues with burn pits and toxic exposures and things. So if you're a veteran out there and you're wondering, there are something like 30 new medical issues that are associated with our service overseas, and it expands the coverage of healthcare to help veterans with those issues. I spent my day at the VA today. I'm not the only one. In fact, we were just chatting about this behind the scenes here that now is a good time for veterans. If you've been away from the VA, if you went to take care of yourself, and then you found help elsewhere, or just didn't go because you have your own reasons. You wanted to find somewhere better, or whatever the case may be. Now's a really good time to go back to the VA, get yourself back into the system. Start telling people that you have these issues that might or might not be associated to the things that we did overseas. That's just my quick soapbox while we're starting the stream, and because I founded this nonprofit to help veterans navigate the science and technology, and there's real research out there. I think it's probably made its way to our Twitter account at some point in time, but there is real research out there from the National Institutes of Health there, that says that these toxins raised levels of mutagenic cells. Basically, long story short, it predisposes us to certain cancers because we were exposed to carcinogens in the things we burned while we were near combat. So please go to the VA. That's my one request from veterans who may be out there and who may be thinking about it. Just go take care of yourselves. We can't do everything ourselves. We can't take care of ourselves without that network, and that's about it. That's all. I'm gonna beat that drum. I might do it again later this week or next week because it's a big deal, and it's important to remind people to do that. I was kind of dragging my feet about it. I didn't want to go, and I thought it wouldn't take long, and I was worried that that I would run into all kinds of issues, but it was a really good process, and I'm looking forward to the results to make sure that I'm taken care of. I don't have any other stressful conditions to worry about or wait on or get medications for or any of that stuff. See, right there, got lots of blood taken. Cool. All right, but we're not here to talk about medical stuff, or my medical stuff at least, or anybody else's really. It's just current events. I will also say that apparently the GI Bill is out there and available for people if you a nonprofit that works with veterans in science and technology. If you were curious about the GI Bill, apparently veterans who joined later than 2013 or served later than 2013, there was a law that was changed so that your GI Bill benefits do not expire anymore. So if you're curious, if you haven't used your GI Bill benefits, go to the VA, find out. There are ways you can extend the timeline for certain degrees, like medical fields, like nursing, like doctors, that kind of stuff. There are the science fields, STEM fields. There's a Edith something or other nurse extension. There's all kinds of new programs that will help you in your journey to go back to school if you want, get a degree, get a pilot's license, all kinds of stuff. So go check it out, please. That's more appropriate for our mission and our conversation next, which is about Battle of the Bots, which is a program that we run here in New York City. And ever since this crazy virus tried to kill everyone, we brought it online and wanted to help reach people who can't come, play with robots here in New York City. I do not have any robots out today. I'm on a Zoom, so what you can't see right now is that I'm not sharing my webcam. That is not my webcam. That is my Zoom screen, and I'm just pinned to the front. Behind me is the design team that I work with, and I enjoy it. I'm a member of our design team here at the Lift and Shift Foundation, but I'm also kind of like the de facto kind of like ringleader because I started the nonprofit. So I get a tremendous amount of satisfaction by taking off my kind of like how do I run this organization hat and putting on my I want to play with robots hat every couple days. But we're gonna do something different today because tonight's not really Battle of the Bots type thing. Tonight is actually a more of like a tech thing where we get into other stuff related to the robots, but not actually battling the robots. And tonight is what you might see up on the screen up there, which is the code behind the robots. The code we put it together with blocks. It's super easy. It's not very hard at all, and we as a design team need to streamline the way we pass back and forth these blocks so that it's easier to keep track of with our robots and our actual stream. My face itches today. It's gonna drive me insane. But since I just walked in the door from the VA, we're probably gonna be a little short today. I'm a little disorganized and distracted by I still haven't taken off my little blood draw Band-Aid, and we'll get into this block of code and look at some of the code that we've been using while we battle our bots on a sumo line and a sumo circle, and we have two different robots. So I'm going to dig into the browser, which is where we use this code. I'm going to open up the set of code and maybe do a little housekeeping on putting all the code in the right places so that we have one file to transfer back and forth. I think that's the smartest way to do this logistically, and it'll help me remember because if anybody saw on Saturday, there was a part where I couldn't upload our design team's files, and it wasn't because there was a problem with the hardware or the software. It was user error, and that was me. That was all me. I completely did not pick up on the fact that I was trying to put the wrong code, put the mbot code in the Ranger tank. So this will help me eliminate the user error that happens also on Saturdays, since I'm the guy who mashes the USB plugs together and makes the robots do what everybody says. But enough with that. Actually, enough with this scene and the screen right here. We don't need to see too much of me. There we go. Let's do that. Let's switch to this view. I'm gonna. Okay, that might be a challenge right there. If I share my screen, I'm gonna butcher this scene. Hold on. I don't think I've done this one before. So, long story short, for anybody watching on Twitch, I share my screens with the design team, and Twitch is kind of like the afterthought. So when I share my screen, it changes the zoom view. So this screen up here will probably disappear and go do something crazy. And for that, I will apologize. We may just disappear my face altogether if that's a distraction. But I am here to share my screen with the design team because we're actually working on this today. So let's see what happens. Dun, 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 there, it's gone. It is gone. We'll leave it alone for a minute. We'll leave that black screen right there. Let's do this way. Let's open up. I'm gonna open up the file that we have. So let's see. We have a file. And I gotta find it. This is gonna be terrible. Okay. We are looking for design team folders. Our shared folders. There we go. I think these two are the two that I'm going to use. So we're going to open these in here right now. We're going to open from computer. We're going to check this out. We're going to go to desktop. I'm going to grab this file, which is the file we used on Saturday. Okay. Yeah. Definitely. There it is. This is the file we used on Saturday, and that is the Ranger tank right there. And this is the MBot. Oh, cool. Check it out. Okay, good. We do have some similarities I see. So let me talk through both of these very quickly. This is actually the file we want to use, and I'm very happy about this because we have the wait 2 seconds part, which is the part that really kind of like messes me up sometimes. So when these robots start right there, whether it's the MBot or the Ranger, I keep having to move that over. They start and they pause for 2 seconds. So you can see they pause right here for 2 seconds. And that is super cool. That is great. That is exactly what we want, because I need to move my meaty claws out of the way before I end up causing problems with the robots. So that gives me 2 seconds to mash the buttons to turn them on and get myself out of the way, so that it's just the robots in their little battle. So if we're looking at the MBot here, what we see is forever it's asking these questions. It's doing these things where it's saying, is there an object within 10 centimeters of the MBot? If there is, it's going to do all this stuff down here. And if there isn't, it's going to do all this stuff down here. So that's cool. That's okay. So if there is an object within 10 centimeters, it's going to do this. And you'll notice then there are these other spaces. If it's on the line or only partially on the line, it's going to do certain things. That is exactly what we want. That is exactly what we want to see. This part right here is basically all offense. And the reason it's all offense is because the MBot is completely on the black line. It hasn't been pushed near the edge of losing. So this robot is basically in the middle. We're going to call it in the middle, and we're going to call him safe. So anything that the robot would do in here, for example, if we added this in here, the robot would do that as an offensive move. Whereas down here, if it detects like a left or a right sensor going off the line, then it kind of makes sense that we're saying we need these blocks here to be defensive to get us back on the line, and that may be something like if he's going off to the right, then turn, or if he's going off to the left, turn the right power up on the right track for a second to get back on the middle of the line. And these are the actions that happen while the robot is, or while the M-bot specifically, while the little tiny M-bot is on the sumo line. Now, we want to look back at this part, because if there is not a bad guy within 10 centimeters, so if they're like really, really, really far apart on our line, then they're going to come down here and do this stuff right here. Oh, and look at that. I just noticed that. Here's an issue right here. This if statement is inside the else. And it can't be that way. That is an error on... I may have just moved it like that. I may have just like made it like that. But that is wholly inaccurate, because then... So this is our like the rules. This is this little block right here. This whole if statement here is the rules. If the line sensor is not on the black line, it's going to turn off. It's going to stop moving. It's going to wait for 5 minutes, and it's going to flash a bunch of lights and play some sounds to let us know, to let the design team and let the operators, let the team robot know that it's the loser. So it needs to be all on its own down here, not inside this kind of like, do I see an object around? So it's possible I just butchered that by dragging all the pieces around to kind of show, but it absolutely can't. It won't work. It'll only work half the time in if it's inside that if statement. So if is kind of like, it's called a conditional statement. So these are conditions. So if or else means that it's not going to work all the time. It's only going to work at certain times. And I'm being generous by saying half, but the truth of the matter is that line of code probably won't happen at all, because our sensors always think there's something like close, even when that is an error based on like the sensors picking up another sensor, all kinds of other crazy stuff that might go on. But so this now looks like accurate code, and like I mentioned here, this else statement, what happens if our little M-bot is just cruising along and there is no other robot to push off the line? Then it's just kind of following the line. This is like a standard like line following code. As long as the line sensor is on the line, it just goes forward. If it looks like it's going off the line, it's just going to turn to the side and until it gets back, all the way on the line. So these blocks right here are very, very much like a standard line following code that you might see, and that I might actually like challenge people to develop in a workshop. So I kind of dig this part of it. It works. It looks good. And in all honesty, we're probably not going to use this part of it very often, because we've discovered that our robots have some issues with their distance sensor. While facing each other, they kind of send a signal that can interfere with the distance. So there's a very big chance that this part of the code is run more often than anything else. So interesting, but this actually all works now. So this Ranger code, the way it is set up right here, will do what we want it to do for our robot battle, and that's perfect. That's exactly what we want here, because now we can use this one set of code for the M-bot and the Ranger. Oh wait, this is the Ranger. I'm sorry, this is the Ranger tank right there. So here's the M-bot right here. This whole time I've been looking at the Ranger tank. But yes, you can see there's the little picture of the Ranger. That is amazing. So there's the picture of the little Ranger on the block, if I'm zooming in close enough for anybody and everybody. And I think that is funny. But yes, so I'm highlighting the Ranger tank code today, right now. And this works. It looks good right there. Okay, cool. All right. So now let's check out the mbot. The mbot should be set up the same way, and it looks like it is. Here's our rules again down here at the bottom, and it looks like our rules are very much set outside of any conditions. So every time the robot checks the rules, it's going to find the rule. Every time the robot turns around to say, where am I? It's also going to check the rules to say, am I on the line? And that is perfect. That's what we want to see. So that is a good spot for the rules right here, which are the line has to be all black, otherwise it's going to throw a bunch of lights up, some sounds, turn off all the moving for 5 minutes. Cool. And we get the exact same setup, it looks like, almost. We wait 2 seconds for me to get myself out of the way. Then we go into this question forever. There's a loop, and I'm just going to go down and to the bottom, because the reason we know it's a loop is it's got this little arrow right here at the bottom that points back to up. So forever, it's just going to keep going through this loop and go up and down and up and down this set of code. So forever, it's going to ask questions and say, I'm listening to these sensors. Are they detecting an object, a bad guy, something close by? Are they detecting, the bad guy within 10 centimeters? And if they are, they're going to follow this set of code right here, which we've just mentioned from the previous blocks is set up as kind of like our offensive and defensive moves. And if there is no detecting a bad guy in front of the robot, then it goes to this else, which is the other half of the condition. The condition is, do I see a bad guy within 10 centimeters? The answers are yes or no. So if yes, else no, kind of answers those questions. And it's kind of like a weird way to do it, but it's just like commands, just like in the military, like a parade rest or port arms. Port arms doesn't really sound like something you'd say or do too often, but I don't know, back in like the 1700s when they wrote the manuals for military drill and ceremonies, port arms was probably a pretty popular word or a phrase at the time. So that's what we go with. But at the same time, when people started designing like programming code and languages and things, if then else is a statement, and it's a conditional statement as far as code is concerned, as far as like programmers are concerned, because it's asking about the condition of a state. And for us, the state is the state of this ultrasonic sensor, the distance sensor in the front. We're asking the condition that is set is, do you see something within 10 centimeters? And we've structured the question in a way that we get a yes or no answer by asking if, then, else. So we've kind of given ourselves two options for that, and this all works. It all works. It looks like it works really, really well. So my confusion on Saturday then was not so much that the operator error part, but it was in the file name. So what might be hard to read right here is the file name. So up here, as I'm highlighting this box and moving away from it, you can kind of see there's a file name for this whole set of blocks, and it's called Easy Sumo Line mbot. And when I look at the file name, I immediately think this is only the code for the mbot. So now I struggled to upload this code into the Ranger because I did not realize that the Ranger code was up to date on this as well as the mbot. So I think to eliminate any user error on my part, we fix this by just changing the name of the code and just call it Um, we'll just call it mbot and ranger. mbot and ranger code. Ooh, I'm butchering it already. We'll go mbot and ranger code is the name of this file, because I can't think of anything else. This should be like easy and medium, because the way we structure these robot battles with these robots are the mbot, which is very small and operates on the line, is very easy to code, and there's only so much you can do with it, so you can't really add too much code because the line is very narrow. So you're kind of forced to do things easy. That's kind of like built into the line. The tanks, the rangers, are on a circle. They're on a big oval. They're on like a full sheet of paper that has this big ring drawn on it, and they're trying to push each other out of it. That leaves a lot more room than a very thin line. So they actually have options where they could back up and move all around and do things, and that kind of creates the opportunity for us to expand the difficulty level of the code by doing things like maybe adding a gyroscope sensor, because there's a gyroscope involved here in the tank. If we could also there's all these other options, other things we could do as far as like gaming type actions. So I'll compare it to I don't know, like a Madden football on the Xbox or the PlayStation or something. You know, you've got all these moves for like a stiff arm and a spin and that kind of stuff. That can be coded into these robots because they're not on a line; they're on a circle. They have the extra freedom of movement. Ooh, check it out! I see links from our design team, and I dig it. I think it's cool. Yeah, but so the long story short is this set of code should maybe be called easy and medium code. Maybe I will do that, because we will add more code to this later. As we progress. So here's the I'm gonna think about this for the awkward silence for a minute, and I apologize, but there's a bit of there's kind of like a bit of I don't know. I'm looking for a different word. Two skill level. We'll call this 2 skill levels. We'll call this code for 2 skill levels. Code for 2 skill levels. Because we will add another skill level to this eventually, as we get better and better with our robots, and as we have a main event where maybe there are arms on our robots or other obstacles along the sumo. There are things that we will develop, and there are ways to make our battles a little more complicated. And as we add to those skill levels, we will add a new set of code here, and we might even add a new robot, and that will force us to create a new set of code. So code for 2 skill levels is here, and that's what we're going to do. That's how we're going to call it, and hopefully it triggers in my head that we have 2 robots that are coded here, and I think that's the benefit to this. I'm going to download this, and then I'm going to upload this. So I'm going to save this to my computer. So we see that. So that's as easy as that happens. And the cool part about this is that is as easy as it is to actually participate in Battle of the Bots on Zoom with us. We do this same exact thing on Saturdays, where we actually just add the blocks to add our shake and bake moves and things into this block of code. We click on File, we click on Save to your computer, and then we drop it in a chat. And I'm going to come back. I'm going to stop share for just a second because I think we're done. I think we're done with that. Actually, I'm gonna switch to the bigger screen on the stream. No. Wait. I'm apparently still sharing. I do not believe you. I do not believe you, sir. There we go. Okay, we are fixed. We are back to this view. So that is as easy as participating in Battle of Bots, which is kind of like the point I wanted to make, which is we open this file on this website, and we mash a couple blocks in to make our moves and make everything cool. Then we click on this Save to your computer, and we drop it in a chat in the Zoom. Something everybody, I think, on the planet at this point has done over the last couple years with this crazy virus trying to kill everyone. But it's very true, and it's once I see it in the chat, I just download it, and I plug the robot into my computer, and I add your file to it, and then we let them go. We let them go on their little lines where there are sumo circles, and we let them battle, and they kind of like knock each other around on a table now, and it's slowly getting better and better. So now we are kind of ready to have other people join us, if that means that other veterans can join us. Veterans can join us with family. Veterans can join us with a team, but also other teams who think they're good at robots and stuff can join us and maybe teach us something about some of the code, or maybe just different groups and different branches want to get together and do that. But that's about it. That's I think that's all I got. It was an easy fix. It had nothing to do with the code at this point. It was all operator error on my end, and that was productive to kind of embarrass myself to share that online for anybody who manages to catch that later. Definitely heckle me for it if you see me struggling with the. I can't upload this into a robot because it happened. It happened last week, and it took me a good 5 minutes to figure out that I was on the wrong robot. So I think that's about it. Okay. But I think I'm done, and I saw some links and things from some design team members here, and I'm gonna close up our Twitch stream. I'm gonna close it up early because, like I mentioned, I have been at the VA all day. Not anything miserable, just all getting all my blood work and things, normal stuff when you go and say, hey, hi, I hung around a bunch of burn pits and I heard it might be a good time to come in and to let you know that. But in all seriousness, if you're out there and you catch this and you're wondering, go to the VA, schedule an appointment, and reintroduce yourself if you've been away for a while. If you haven't and you want to address those issues, do that. It's definitely worth your time if you spent any time overseas. And if you're curious about the GI Bill, go look up the VA's website. You can find I make sure it's in our tweets. There's always tons of links about ways to find your GI Bill benefits. Find those extension programs that kind of like add to the VA GI Bill program. So you can always go there. I try to stick them in emails if I'm emailing monthly. All of that stuff. We have a new link in our Twitch about us now. If you're curious about joining these streams, if you're curious about joining these Zooms, if you'd like to know What else we do with our design team? There's a page where you can sign up, and me or somebody else behind the scenes will email you and say, "Hey, here's all the cool stuff. Come play with us," and that's about it. Since I am ending short, I'm gonna play a little video, and it's a highlight video, and it probably says thank you to the design team members, to other veteran service organizations like Winter Warrior Project, who supports pretty much anything I try to do, and sponsors like Masterclass, who give us access to share with other veterans and stuff like that. So it's a highlight reel of what happened in New York City with a Battle of the Bots before COVID started. So I'm gonna let that play for, I don't know, I think it's like a 5-minute video, a 10-minute video, and we will see everybody on Saturday.
Wally, don't do this. Don't wear Wally. In your house, don't smoke it. You know what I mean? Like, walk for this side. On your mark, get set, go. Point for this side. These guys.
Let's go. Have at it. Oh. Oh, and they're struggling. But they're not giving up. It's still a fight. It's still a fight. It's still a fight. What are they? There he is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, who got it? Who got it?
Best 2 out of 3.
3, 2, 1.
Go. Go. Have at it. Oh! 2 batteries down. I think that might be a draw.
Yeah, I'm gonna call that one a draw.
That was hysterical.